try and see. Here we are back. And we should say a call out to the most beautiful day. And by the way, since we stopped this, remind me, I'm in the middle of making some wheatgrass juice for us, so don't let me forget that. I got slightly distracted by reality here. Anyway, what a beautiful day it is. Gorgeous, one of those days where you can feel the vibrance of life, you know. Right? I mean, there's that springing of, feel it? Yeah, feels like it. Early spring.
Life feels good to be alive. Can feel very blissful at times.
And you can make yourself believe that no matter what life gives you, you should still feel that blissfulness because you're experiencing it, right? That would be an applicable belief. Well, hopefully you don't use that as a cop-out of laziness, but aside from just general acceptance of consciousness, right? Yeah, I think that's acceptable. Just have to keep aligning my body with things here. Oh, I forgot my colorful little thing here. So I wasn't going to let him have all the color in the room, you know. That was just irritating. It's like, you're not going to take all the color. I'm just going to be this gray old yogi. So this is my way of making a stance here, in case you're wondering. It's the small victories. Or not even victories, how about just the small statements? I don't know.
Every small little detail.
Is it fun, you know? You know, how nuanced can you get in this? You know, did he insult me here? No.
Oh, it's very particular to every detail. I'm always looking at my fingers.
Yeah, no, me too. I check everything. You know, you focus in, pixelate a little bit, make sure there's no abnormal growth coming out anywhere. You know, it's like
It's all a reflection of your mind. You try to keep your surroundings pure.
Well, within a coherent relationship to
Clean.
you, me, our accepted vision of what a conscious being might look like, right?
Daily routine is very important.
Yeah,
Obviously. It's very important for me to put water on my face every day.
Yes.
At least.
Well, of course, that's the bare minimum. Friendliness, yeah, of course. Cleanliness, godliness, there's a certain, if you can do it, you would be silly, remiss not to. I think there has to be a satisfaction that you bring into your being. And that satisfaction has to be felt on all levels of your being. So I'm saying you can't just, it's, for me, just having I feel like my life has been very rewarding and very beautiful in many ways. I'm thankful. But for me to feel satisfied, I'm not sure. That level is a little more interesting to achieve, you know, than just nice, thankful, overall blessed. Satisfied and immersion almost have to be the same thing. How deeply are you immersed, embedded in this particular vision of yourself, that you can acknowledge the entire totality of who that and what that might entail to create this, you know? You get the whole lineage and the progressive possible futures now, too. Kind of a interesting savant state of consciousness. And all this, mind you, is just places of putting yourself in vector analysis. In other words, getting that far back into your own mind where you can see the fractal nature of this stuff in some kind of a time-space quantum field that certainly can't be described in this language, right? But kind of makes sense in a quantum field type of understanding beyond words. So where this meets between, right, the fields beyond words and trying to communicate with words. That's where this whole thing of where sanity and what is real comes into play. The projected image of how this even formulates. This is why you do the yoga. You've got to do the practice. You've got to set the breath. You've got to do the whole thing so the image becomes that. Then you can play with it, have fun with it. And you can enjoy this to some degree. Because we've taken the time to embed it, immerse ourselves in it as much as possible. Maybe not as much as possible, as much as that I could do it. Limitations of my own psychological, biological matrix. I did what I feel relatively successful with this. Obviously, could have been a little bit. I wish I would, if I had these I wishes, would have devoted more time to kirtan, to feeling that and studying that. That'd be the only. But I've studied the yoga, so that's worked out this way for me. And it's all the same place ultimately. And you got to feel it in every part of your body. I can do the energetics on this. I can feel the energy moving up my spine. But I have to feel it. I have to, as if I was immersing myself in myself and feeling this on an immensely liquid elemental level, as a way of talking about this. Don't worry, I'm not that far out there. But if you were going to talk about it, you would kind of use language that way to describe this flowing of energy. And feel you're ready to chip in here anytime you want. Because I'm just describing kind of how I'm feeling this energy flows around me.
It's about keeping focused the image of a stick or a spear or a line of energy going up your spine, a source.
So many ways you can visualize that, isn't it? For me, it's the Ida Pingala, the up and down movement, the prana and the apana continually. I see myself these days, Adam, as a being caught in this speed of light kaleidoscope that is on the moment keeps identifying itself countless of times over and over, and I'm watching this flickering. I'm going, okay, where are you right now? In the midst of that flickering consciousness, I'm going, well, where I've always been, at my heart center. Only place that makes any sense. Since I am somewhat of a logical person still, although I reserve that right to change. But being a logical person, the balance, the heart, it's the only logical place to be. And that has to be bodhisattva. That has to be compassion. That has to be everything. You can't get out of that responsibility. If you're going to the heart, guess what? It's your responsibility. Okay. Well, where do I start? Start with making yourself happy.
Deep breaths.
What makes you happy? Yeah, well, start with the physical. Start with the stuff you can change. Quit doing stupid shit, right? Yeah? There is that. Be free to talk to yourself. And just look at yourself and say, you and I are going to talk to each other now. We're going to have to formulate a coherent narrative that we can all agree on. And I'm talking about the conscious, subconscious collection of this personality construct, you know. In other words, you have to get to a point where you can kind of look at your own subconscious and, you know, and deal with it. Okay, there's anything that I don't have control over now, because I've taken the time to install protocols in the first two centers completely, and tying into the solar plexus now moves to the heart as an automatic reflex. So that's going on. I have taken the time to set that up, or the time has been taken to set that up, or whatever grace allowed that to happen, it happened. Okay? However you wish to, because I don't want to take too much responsibility as this personal ego thing of all seeing, unless I can go there completely. So, in a sense that that part of it, that grace part of it, that kind of moved this personality construct, you know, which, as you and I both know, has a kind of a quirky sense of humor, you know, out of that equation. As long as I can stay out of that, everything works great. So I try to keep my quirkiness a little bit under control. Well, it's just from ironic watching things over and over again on all levels, you know, of what we see in our consciousness. Just things like that happening, you know, you just go, oh, really? We have to play that again? You know, this thing with Matt, for example, you know, like, what the heck? This is crazy. But I understand it. Not hard to understand. Just not hard to have compassion for.
You know, one pointed way of thinking, you try to focus on bliss and just having a wholesome and spiritual uplifting, even the thought of it rejuvenating your body.
Yeah.
Even, you know, if somebody comes to you with a lot of trouble and sorrow, and you know, you could still maintain it yourself.
I think that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? That's where the real cool part of this. If you're going to be a healer in any sense of the word, you're going to have to isolate yourself, not to be non-compassionate, but to make sure you don't take on any of that energy yourself. You know, ground it, help that person ground it, or deal with it.
You can take it on. It's not that you don't take it on. It's just your karma's better equipped to deal with it.
Well, do you want to put that through your system, or you? It's the kidneys of your own consciousness you're running that through. How much of that can you run through your own consciousness before you start to get a little bit of residual? You know what I mean? I mean, just we're talking practical stuff now. This is between two yogis, you know.
Yeah, sure. Some yogis, you know, spiritual people, kind of out there help kind of.
No, that's what they do. Wrong. I know. That's what they do. They're like the. They're the kidneys of the universe or something. You know, that part of it, recirculating and allowing that to be purified. Yeah. Well, I have to respect that, you know, and just go, wow, I haven't got to that level of service yet. But on some level, that's what we do too. I don't know, whatever level you can do without becoming polluted by it yourself would be the level that you probably should do it.
Sure, but
that's what I'm saying now.
People are missing in general, or just a kind of community connection, I think.
There it is, community connection. Community connection. There's the keywords, there's the buzzword. That's the whole point of this whole thing. Create communities, guys. Have communities. Have places to live for and be with each other. To share ideas as we're doing now, and to talk about it in different perspective intelligences. Start ashrams. Get together again. Live together. It's too expensive otherwise. Share common things for a while, right? You can find enough things that you can live with each other for a while. It's okay.
You mentioned earlier.
You'll enjoy it.
About your own
you don't have
spiritual group of people. It's good to, you know, go to.
Yeah, we need to share the dynamics, guys. There has to be back to that again, because you can isolate. You know, there's just those of us. You know, you can isolate yourself. It's true, things are taken care of. But it's nice when there's more of a community involved. And if you can work that around your life, I think that's the key here, don't you? Because it shares the expense, it shares the life experience, it shares some of the ups and downs like any other flotation device, and the infinite sea of consciousness that we're looking up and going, whoa! Something like that. Okay, well, we better stop here.
Thank you. That was a long one.
Yeah, that's what she said.
15 minutes.
Yeah, well worth it. We'll talk to him here. Stop it.